there, and a very good Friday afternoon to you. Welcome along to our live broadcast here on Global Irish Radio this Friday, August the 7th, 2026. Happy Friday to you. International Beer Day. That's right, the cold stuff, friends. Celebrate by pouring yourself, well, a nice cold one. Plus, it's Friday. As if you needed an excuse, but there you go. There's two. Happy Friday and happy International Beer Day. Welcome along. It's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio. A little program that we're doing on Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. Dishing out the crack, if you will. All that you need to know to get you through your Irish day. That kind of stuff. Keeping you connected with Mother Ireland. Dailycrack.com is the website, and you can find lots of stuff there. We'll be sharing, since it is International Beer Day, we have a beer story. And we'll be sharing a success story involving one of Ireland's lesser-known stouts, the black stuff. The other one, later in the programme as well. A busy Friday, by the way. The weather is lovely, I have to tell you today. It is sunny at this hour in the west, which is a wonderful thing coming into the weekend. And there's a nice, strong breeze. I like days like today when you can go outside and feel the weather and experience the weather, rather than some of those days where it's just calm and sterile almost. Days like today, that strong, fresh breeze, or be it the sun in your face, and you can feel the weather, then you can feel alive, you can feel the elements. I don't like the feel of the rain, though, but apart from that, we do like a strong breeze, we do like the feel of the sunshine and desert. But you get the drift, or get my drift. It's a nice little day here in the west of Ireland, and much the same across the nation. Looks like it'll be similar stuff for the weekend. Cloudy and showers maybe tomorrow at times in different parts of the country, but Sunday should be nice as well, which is a good thing because it's a busy weekend and it's been a busy week and there's lots going on, lots of outdoor stuff, so it's nice when the weather cooperates. Alrighty, just looking at some of the things, the Flacchiol in Belfast continues. They've had a tremendously successful week there. 95% increase in footfall there. Mihal was there yesterday. A lot of other visiting dignitaries throughout the week as well. We'll see how Mihal got on. Share that with you a little bit later on as well. Lots of coverage on that in our papers today. The Dublin Horse Show continues as well. Best Dressed Lady, who was she? Well, we'll tell you that in a minute as well. Lots more too. The Traders returns to our Irish television screens later this year. We'll tell you exactly when. So lots to talk about between now and 4. Hopefully you'll stay with us for the hour if you can. And if you cannot, no problem. You can check out thedailycrack.com. On there you'll find all previous episodes, including this as a podcast later on today. Also, a little sporting event taking place in Croke Park this weekend. All Ireland Camogie final is happening. Camogie, you say? What is Camogie? Well, for our tourists around the world, Camogie, that's where girls or ladies or women try to play hurling. Yes, that's what's happening. I'm kidding, of course. I love the ladies. It's hurling for ladies, but and they do a very good job at it. The last thing we want is to incur the wrath of Manana Hearn, especially the ones with sticks. So we love the hurling, we love the camogie, we love the lads, we love the girls. And can Galway do the double this year? The ladies of Galway bringing honour on their county last week, winning the All-Ireland Ladies Football Final in Croke Park. And this week it is Galway and they are up against Cork. So will it be the double or will it be the Rebel girls taking the prize back to Leaside, in the southwest of Ireland? Well, we just have to wait and see. It's all happening in Croke Park on Sunday. But it looks like the weather will be cooperating. So that's what's on the menu. Sports-wise this weekend, all eyes on the ladies. Ladies with sticks. Is there anything better? We hope you're well this Friday, friends. If you haven't already done so, if you're new to the program, well, this is the Daily Crack Show, and we have in more recent times, we put together a companion website, we'll call it, to accompany the show, because when we're not here, the crack continues. It sure does, and to get a slice of the crack, just go to thedailycrack.com. On there, we update daily what it says in the papers. You can listen to what it says in the Irish papers, keep you connected with home. We also have the front pages, a link to all of the headlines on the front pages, because some people, they don't want to just hear it, they want to see it. They want to see, we can't give you the feel of the newspaper, but we can give you the look of the newspaper. For traditionalists that don't like tablets and, clicking on news stories on the newspaper sites, you can get a glimpse of the front pages of the papers, which I always think is kind of nice. I'm a bit old-fashioned though. But anyway, there you go. And then if you want to dive deeper into the stories and go behind the headlines, there's links to all of the newspapers. There are online sites where you can read a little further on the stories of the day. So there you go. And lots of other stuff there as well. We have a section entitled Crack USA where we link you with some of the Irish American publications. The website a work in progress, so we'll have to add some of the newspapers serving other Irish communities around the world, particularly some of the newspapers from the UK as well, because some good stories in there from time to time too. But anyway, you get the drift. Check it out. There's links to Irish radio stations and there's links to Irish podcasts as well, including the Top 10 Countdown. All of that nice stuff. It's right there for you at thedailycrack.com. And of course, the weather. The weather is there. What would it be without the weather? So check it out, friends, if you haven't already done so. Thedailycrack.com. And speaking of the headlines, let's take a quick glimpse. It's Friday. Let's see what they're saying in our papers today. The front pages. The Irish Daily Mail tells us, this is the main headline now, report on data centres rewritten to suit the state narrative. That's according to the political editor, Craig Hughes, writing in today's Irish Daily Mail. He says that a report into the country's data centres was rewritten after requests from the Department of Enterprise to present a strong narrative to support the sector's expansion. Might I add that this was supposed to be an independent report? A little bit of meddling or interference there from the Department of Enterprise to put a more favourable slant on the expansion of data centres in this country. We are an outlier, friends, when it comes to data centres. We have a lot of them. The tech bros are our pals here in this country. They spend a lot of money here with us, and so we have to provide a favourable, I suppose, climate for their data centres. So, yeah, and of course, you'll know if you've been listening to this programme or you follow news here in this country, the amount of electricity that they eat up. A fifth of the population's, or a fifth of the country's ESB goes to the electricity we supply or produce in this country goes towards powering those data centres. So lately and in recent times, they've kind of been, people have been like looking up and, asking questions. What's going on with all these data centres? Why don't we have enough electricity to power our houses? And some estates in this country, housing estates that aren't able to connect to the grid because of the shortage of electricity. And of course, it is a big challenge to the country, but the government want us to think that they're a good idea. So there you go. That's why there's a bit of a slant on that report, in case you were wondering. Read all about it in today's Irish Daily Mail, as I say. Nice piece on that independent report. Inverted commas, inverted commas. Now, the Irish Times tells us that gang leader Daniel Kinahan, is to be flown back to Ireland within days. And he's, one of our biggest criminal exports. And he's been living in the Middle East, Dubai, or wherever it is that he's been for the last while. His visa has expired, and he's a very wanted man. He's a gang leader, and the full story there with Conor Lally in today's Irish Times. And it's a bit of a headache for the police and law enforcement in this country. They've even had to buy a bomb-proof van to transport him around, because it's like the stuff of a movie. You get one of these, Con Air, was that the name of the movie with Nicolas Cage? And they're transporting these prisoners, and they try to, ambush and recover their guy. So they're afraid of that happening and stuff like that. So it's a challenge for the security forces in this country. And also, of course, Ireland is hosting the EU presidency, where we have to provide a lot of security, detail and protection for all these visiting European politicians. And then your man with the orange, the fella from across the way, is coming in September as well. So our security and our law enforcement services will be strained for the next few weeks, especially with Kinahan returning back to the country as well. And as you can imagine, it's lots of fodder for our newspapers, and lots of coverage and lots of talk of that in all the papers. And I suspect our weekend editions of the papers will be bombarded with coverage of Kinahan's impending return. Now, there's another gang pictured on the paper, the Irish Times as well today, but a gang of a different kind. Young competitors in the Shetland. They were competing in the Shetland Pony Grand National on opening day of the Dublin Horse Show yesterday. The horse show is in full swing, off to a flying start. So a nice picture of youngsters on ponies competing there at the Dublin Horse Show. I think that runs through Friday. Let's turn our attention to what else we've got. The Irish Examiner and their headline, primary school hours set for review. And Elaine Loughlin, I should say, is writing all about that in the Irish Examiner. And it looks like Earlier finish time for the infants. So aren't they the lucky ones? They get out of school earlier. There's a lot more to it as well. As I say, the school hours, the primary school hours set for review. Elaine Loughlin has the full story. You can go behind the headline on today's Irish Examiner. And to the red tops we go, and the Irish Daily Mirror, the headline there, Dump Trump. Oh yeah. That's the headline of today's Irish Daily Mirror, alongside a picture of the US President Donald Trump and two of the survivors of sexual abuse, as they call on Ireland's leaders to reconsider any engagements with the Donald when he comes to this country next month. That is the front page. That is the front page of the Irish Daily Mirror. And finally, for now, the Star. Let's take a look at the Star. And again, it's Kingpin Daniel Kinahan pictured on there, and the $10 million Dan is the headline there, and it's a story involving an American lawyer who sued Daniel Kinahan, and he says he's vindicated now by his extradition to Ireland years after a court battle in the US where he was awarded a $10 million payout. It's to do with Daniel Kinahan poaching one of their boxers or something like that. It's a boxing type story. A lot of these criminals are big into the boxing as well as drugs and everything else. But anyway, apparently he poached one of the boxers, and there was a civil case, and this highfalutin lawyer won that. And he says now that the government is extraditing him to Ireland, he wants a piece of the action, namely the $10 million payday that he was awarded by a US judge. It's a long and convoluted story, but it's the headline on today's Irish Daily Star. So that, friends, is what you'll see if you're looking at the papers at thedailycrack.com, or you're here in this country picking up, or at the newsstands picking up the one of the papers, as we often do. We hope you're well this Friday. Have you poured yourself a beer yet? Go on, go get a beer quick. Studio@gir.ie if you ever feel the need to reach out to us here at the programme. We are here for you. Yes, we are. Studio@gir.ie. We're streaming live on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, say, on Global Irish Radio, and then you can catch the broadcast anytime at all at thedailycrack.com. So check that out. Global Irish Radio, of course, the Irish diaspora radio station, bringing you Irish radio programmes from not just Ireland, but from Irish communities all around the world. It's what we do, friends. It's what we do. And of course, some great programmes coming away during the course of this weekend. We shall share details of that with you a little bit later on. And remember, go to the App Store. Next time you're shopping in the App Store, have a look around there and find the best Irish radio app on the market. Global Irish Radio app. Download it. Take us with you wherever you go. So there you go. Wherever you get your apps. Now, speaking of the great United States and Crack USA, Fridays is usually our USA slot, isn't it? We used to have reporter William J. Kelly with us, and William wants to come back and join us on the air soon from Chicago. He's a busy guy out there. There's a mayoral race, I think, taking place in the city of Chicago. A lot of primaries and things happen. It's an interesting time in America, and there were primaries taking place this week as well, with some interesting results, particularly there in Michigan. But anyway, reporter William J. Kelly, and Fridays, as I say, Fridays a little bit kind of synonymous with the USA. So we'll delve a little further into Crack USA for a minute or two, as the Irish Star there has a lot of coverage on the Donald's new hair. Have you seen the Donald's new hair? What is going on with his new hair? Most people go to the barber and they come back with less hair. This guy's come back with more hair. Now, it's somewhere between, I would say, looking at it, at first I thought it was just me, and I says, no, there's something different here. But, you go on social media and they're sharp as pens, and everybody were onto it straight away. As I say, the Irish Star in America has a lot of coverage, particularly on their online sites and their social media feeds, on the Donald's new hairstyle. It's somewhere between, I would say, a crow's nest and a stack of hay, if you know what I mean. But anyway, lots of talk about the new hair. And is it real, or what is it, or how they do it? He's got a magician makeup artist. He has to have, to be able to just make that hair appear like that. It was getting a little bit scarce there for a while. It was getting a little bit, I think it was turning grey a wee bit. Maybe that was too light a shade of blonde, but it's more orange again. And that's, we're more comfortable with the orange look, aren't we? But anyway, a lot of talk, a lot of coverage on the Donald's new hairstyle. You may love it, you may hate it, but it's a thing this Friday. People are talking about it and say getting lots of coverage on social media in particular. And I was actually looking at some of the comments that some of the people were posting with regards to, I don't know if I pull it up here now, but there was a a bunch of comments from different people after from the Irish Star. They posted a little piece on the Donald and his new hair and a picture of him sporting this. Somebody said, that's not a toupee, that's a three-pay. Somebody else said, the wind knows the truth. And of course that's a reference to what happened earlier this week when his hair nearly blew off getting into the chopper, the Air Force One chopper, whatever they call it. Marine Force One, isn't that what they call it? It is. It's a chopper. Somebody else said a wig on a pig. Somebody else said he's been saving his mother's hair in a vault. Now he's wearing it. And what else did they say? Oh, somebody else said that's where he's hiding the Epstein files. Well, you knew that was going to happen. And somebody else said making hair great again. And the one I like the best is he's wearing the dogs and he's wearing the cats. Remember that from presidential debates? But there you go. He's wearing the cats and he's wearing the dogs. That's all about the Donald's new hairstyle. So if you haven't seen it already, check it out. He looks, he definitely looks different. As I've been telling you, and we talked about this earlier in the week, the Donald is coming to these parts because there's a little golf tournament, the Irish Open, taking place at his Doonbeg golf course. Which, by the way, was the subject, or it was vandalised in the last day or two with news of his impending arrival, because Gardaí are investigating an act there of vandalism after suspected chemicals were used to damage a green at the US president at his golf, at one of the holes there. I'm not sure which one it was, but anyway, he's planning to come here September the 12th. He's planning to present the winner of the Irish Open with the trophy. Hopefully he'll hand it over. We'll have to wait and see. And as I say, expected to attend the Irish Open, which is, as I say, 12th and 13th, because he has to be in the US of A for the commemoration. I think it's 25 years, is it, since the 9/11 attacks? Hard to believe it's 25 years has passed. We are getting, oh goodness gracious. But anyway, he can't be there on the 11th, so he'll be here on the 12th and 13th. And the expectation is that he'll stick around and, he'll present the winner, of course. The Irish authorities here want to try and keep him on the golf course for as much time as possible. It's one of those invitations, you know, when you ask somebody to come over and you hope that they won't, but they do, and then they show up and you have to deal with it. That's what's happening at the moment. And, they can't keep him, as I said earlier in the week, they have to keep him away from the Parliament, the Dáil, and because he might want to do a public address, and we have so many left-wing radical lunatics, left-leaning politicians here in this country, that anything could happen in the Dáil. It may not be pleasant, and there might be egg on the face of Micheál Martin and the establishment politicians. So keeping him away from the Dáil is a big priority. Then, of course, keeping him away from the public, because God knows the public seem to totally not like the Donald. It's not like Obama when he came to Dublin, and thousands and thousands of people gathered at College Green in Dublin by Trinity, and it was a really nice atmosphere. They'd be afraid of what might happen if they put Donald out in front of the public. They'd be pelting apples and oranges and eggs and stones and all kinds of things. So they have to keep him away from the public. And then, of course, our President Connolly, they have to keep him away from her, because she is the poster child for these left-wing, whatever you call them, that radicals or lunatics that the Donald always refers to. So you can see the dilemma. It's like that parable, the fox, the goose, and the bag of beans. It's a challenge for the government. I think we saw it at the last one. Somebody came up with the idea, let's say that President Connolly is out of the country. And I was reading someplace in the paper today, a columnist from, she writes in the Irish, she's based in New York, and she writes in the Irish Daily Star. And what she was saying is, she points out that Catherine Connolly will likely be out of the country. So some wise guy decided, let's get her out of here. Let's one less problem to deal with. And so she might be out of the country, but as Laura Coggan is saying, the President's office, Orson Nucleon, has said they will consider any request for a visit. You know, that's diplomatic speech. But anyway, Connolly has in the past made no secret of her feelings towards Trump. She apparently used words like volatile, unpredictable, and a bully. So these have been words that have been bandied about. So, the meeting would be kind of awkward. I was saying last time I talked about this, I would pay money to see that visit. And of course, the Donald doesn't even know that, when he was notified of these comments by the new president, he's just like, who is he? He doesn't even know she's a woman. But anyway, he doesn't care either. But that's the presidential visit. For me, if you ask me, for my money, there are the challenges of, keeping away from the Dáil, the public, and President Connolly. But I think there's two other big challenges. The two biggest challenges, I would say, would be keeping the whore awake. I mean, lately he's been having lots of naps and stuff like that. And the other thing is, have you ever been to the west of Ireland? Have you ever been to the Cliffs of Moher? Have you ever been down there near his golf course? There's no chance of keeping that hair on the head. The wind is constantly gale force wind, so keeping the hair, they'll have to batten down the hair, use super glue. I don't know. I think that's the biggest challenge. But anyway, there you go. There's lots of coverage in the in Crack USA, in the Irish American publications, and other publications indeed, on the Donald's new hairstyle. So the challenge is to keep it on his head when he comes to Doonbeg. And then, of course, he wants to go up to Dublin to turn the sod on the new American embassy. There's plans to build a new embassy in Dublin. He's been doing a lot of construction work, this president. They say, in fact, that he spends somebody said they spend 70% of his time overseeing construction projects at the White House. And, the helicopter pad, the reflecting pool, the little ballroom that's putting up, and all the stuff that's going on underneath it. So they're saying he's spending an awful lot, which is probably not a bad thing, because when he touches other things, well, we know what happens. We pay for it. We pay for it in the form of increased fuel prices and all the rest of it. So keep him on the construction jobs and that kind of stuff, and we'll try and keep him on the golf course when he comes over here. It won't be an easy ask, but we'll do our best. GlobalIrishRadio.com, friends, GIR.ie, streaming on as many as 25 digital platforms. Yes, indeed, we are. And of course, we're on Alexa, and as I mentioned, on the Global Irish Radio app as well. So spread the good word. Take us with you whenever you can. Now, to the best dressed lady at the Dublin Horse Show. And the winner is Pamela Ryan, was named for the best dressed at this year's Dublin Horse Show. She wins herself a nice 10,000 top prize, very similar to the prize offered at the Galway races. And it always adds a splash of colour to these equestrian events. And more people come for the women than the horses, I think. Anyways, attending the RTS event for the first time, Pamela was, she impressed the judges with an outfit featuring pieces from. This is where she got her outfit, CompleteLook.ie. She also got some stuff from a charity shop. She picked up the shoes I picked those up at the charity shop maybe, and other places as well. And a lot of the emphasis was on sustainability and recycling, stuff like that. Sustainability, in fact, was a theme this year, with many entrants wearing they call it upcycled, not recycled, upcycled, and they rented or they bought in charity stores vintage outfits. So that was kind of the theme this year, and you can get quite creative. Those vintage stores or those thrift stores can be a trove of treasures, and you can find all kinds of wonderful things in there, as did lovely Pamela. I think it was the shoes she got there. She got the hat, I would say, somewhere else, but not an expensive outfit, but a pretty outfit. And to describe it, well, I'm not very good at describing things, but it's a full-length dress, and it's full of lovely bright colours. And the best way I can describe it maybe is if fruit salad was a dress, this is what it would look like. So you get the drift. Do you get the drift? Probably not. But anyway, a nice colourful dress, and she looks great in all the rest of it. And I seen our pals out there, the McDonoughs, Marie and Kathy, whom we spent many years working with out in Chicago. Their niece was pictured at the Galway races, and she went viral because of her outfit. And what was really fascinating was, again, coming back to the sustainability and the upcycling of things. Her hat, well, I will call it a hat, the thing on her head, the affair that was going on in her head was more like a flower, but it was a beautiful thing. And she actually explained to people how she came up with it. What she did was she went to the Aldi, I think it was, and she bought the oranges, or the the little small mandarins or whatever, and the net that it comes in. Well, she took that, she sprayed it gold, she attached some cheap pearls to it, and then she went to Penny's and she found this kind of flowery kind of thing and somewhere else, and glued the whole thing together, and it absolutely looked spectacular on her, and it looked like $1 million. And people couldn't get over that. I think she said the whole thing might have cost her about $10. So that really is sustainability and upcycling. And there's a lovely girl by the looks of it, and she went viral, as she explained, because she had a very nice manner about her as well. And she got a lot of shares for it. But there you go. You don't need money, friends. You just need creativity and imagination to look well. And there you go. That often paid okay for her friend, paid off well for her friend there, Pamela, who found, as I say, some of the stuff in thrift stores and places like that. Didn't spend a fortune, but looked well and carried it well, and it was bright, and it did the job for her, didn't it? Alrighty, friends, it's the Daily Crack with me, Sean G, here on Global Irish Radio, with you most days 3 to 4, and keeping you up to speed on all that you need to know, the latest happenings from Ireland, this part of the world, keeping you connected with Mother Ireland. It's what we do, and our mission to preserve and promote Irish music, heritage and culture wherever we go, much like what they're doing up in Belfast with the Fleadh right now. Strong emphasis on Irish music, heritage and culture, traditional Irish music, and lots of people are a very successful Fleadh Cheoil. It's first time in Belfast, but it's going down very, very well indeed. What have we got for you? Oh yes, we have another story here, and now I know we said to win just once would be enough, but we've kind of changed our mind. So talking about Mayo winning Sam Maguire, we lied, it turns out. Well, that's because we're loving this. I mean, winning is much better than losing, and we like the look of winning. And oh, by the way, we have a little update on Kobe as well. I'll try to get that to you before the end of the programme. But Ryan O'Donoghue, nice piece in today's Irish Daily Star. Nice two-page interview with Ryan O'Donoghue, who's certainly put, if not Mayo football on the map, he's put Belmullet on the map as well. And a nice piece there as he talks about his, his hometown of Belmullet and the trip home and what it meant to him, and recaptures or relives all of that. It's a nice piece. But as I was saying, yes, we did say, and the Saw Doctors, did sing about it, to win just once would be enough. But, Sam likes us and we like Sam, and, we think we want more of this. This is good. This is good. And Sam Maguire, we want to keep him. That's what I'm trying to tell you, friends. We love Sam Maguire. Sam Maguire loves us. He has never had such a good time in all his years. It's been 75 years since he was here in Mayo. He probably forgot what it was like, but now that he's here, he seems to be enjoying himself. Never did he have such a party. A party that's still continuing. It's ongoing, continuing, and it will go on for a long, long time. But Ryan O'Donoghue suggests and vows that we will not be a one and done kind of team. No, we will not. To win just once is not enough. We want to win lots. Let's tell you what he's been saying. Ryan O'Donoghue has vowed to prevent Mayo becoming a one and done team. He's talking to Gary Doyle in today's Irish Daily Star. The Green and Red, as you know, stormed to our first All-Ireland success in 75 years, almost 2 weeks ago now. Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it? But anyway, some counties, of course, Armagh in 2002, Donegal in 2012, failed to follow up on the breakthrough wins, but others, such as Down in 1991, Galway in 1998, and Tyrone in 2003, and most famously Dublin in 2011, all did build on their initial success and went on to win more than one. So we want to be more. We don't want to be one and done. We want to be more than that. So we're going for 2 in a row next year. And Donoghue was talking about the fact that Andy Moran, addressing a crowd in Ballahadreen, which is Andy Moran's home turf, said, let's get greedy. Let's get greedy. The team we have, they're young. Okay, Kobe's off to Australia, but another person can step up to the plate. And with the boys we have, the talent we have, the youth and all the rest of it, this hunger for success hasn't gone away. It's only served to make us hungrier. And so watch out for more Mayo magic to come. So it's a nice piece in today's Irish Daily Star with Ryan O'Donoghue talking about his homecoming and what it means for him and for Mayo. And he says, when you win in Mayo, it's not just for yourself. You're winning for so many different. You're winning for people in the graveyard. You're winning for the diaspora. We talk about it a lot, but yeah, you have the responsibility, and the win is shared by so many. And near a truer word was spoken. And he recounts the trip back home to Belmullet last week. And a lovely story. In fact, some of the images I saw coming into, I'm not sure, it was North Mayo, down in the Erris area. The bus was flying above the bus, because they travel, they have 2 coaches and they got like a police escort and all the rest of it. There was lovely images of choppers, helicopters on top. They have some fairly wealthy businessman. The rancher was telling me exactly who owns the choppers, but it was a sight to behold. It's no wonder Sam Maguire doesn't want to go home. He wants to stay here, and for good reason. He's having a great time. Kerry can't compete with that. No way. Imagine helicopters, choppers, a police escort, all of that stuff leading the homecoming into Erris last week. It was a sight to behold, and the kind of welcome that Sam deserves after 75 years. But that's the latest. We're not a one and done. Let me see if I can find that story on Kobe, because his club he's got there. We told you that he was boarding the plane the last time we spoke, which was Wednesday, and he's arrived in Australia. And St Kilda, which is the club that he's joining down there, they have vowed to be patient with Kobe McDonald after the Mayo hero met some of his new teammates. And there's a nice picture of him on social media and different places of him meeting his new teammates in Melbourne for the first time today. Remember, they're way ahead of us. So it was earlier today, which is kind of like yesterday to us, tomorrow. You get the drift. Sometime. Anyway, I can't go down that road. But anyway, they're 11, I think it's 11 hours they are ahead of us. Anyway, he met the teammates in Australia. He arrived in the One Piece and he officially, began his tenure, I suppose, there. The 18-year-old penned a contract with the Saints last year, but stayed in Ireland, of course. Part of the deal was that he could get to finish his leaving certificate. He'll have that to fall back on. And then he was also allowed to throw his weight behind the Mayo Gaelic football players in the championship. So he's allowed to have one stab at helping Mayo get it over the line. And praise the Lord, indeed, it all worked out and we know what happened there. But anyways, few could have envisioned just how well his summer would go. And, it's off now to Australia for this brilliant young talent. He got to savour the win here in Mayo for a few days as well with the homecoming. He was around for the first week of it. Took off to Spain for a sun holiday as well. Deserved that after all the all of the partying and the longing, the engagements. Were out morning, noon and night meeting people all across the county, shaking hands and all the rest of it. But anyway, now Kobe McDonald, he's a Category B rookie and he'll try to make an impact in the AFL, which we're told will be a huge challenge that will doubtless take time. So it's not going to be overnight success or anything like that. He's there on a 3-year contract, whatever, and he has to work his way up. He starts at the bottom down there, and we wish him nothing but success. And St Kilda stressed that they will resist putting too much pressure on their new recruit, which is a wise thing to do and a smart move on the part of St Kilda, because he's only a kid. He's only a youngster. So we could be forgiven for seeing him perform on the football field and seeing what he did for Mayo. Along with his teammates, he showed a maturity beyond his years. There's no question about that. So, the folks down there, they understand that with anything, you have to nurture and coach young talent like that. And, it will pay dividends. Now, has anybody seen Joe Brawley? Brawley, where are you? We're looking for Joe Brawley here in Mayo. Yeah. Because the Mayo News is reporting that Brawley has just departed Knockmore. He was managing the girls down there. His wife is from Knockmore, and he was in charge of the Knockmore girls, but he suddenly quit. The Mayo News is reporting that Brawley has now departed Knockmore, leaving the squad managerless, without a manager, just 10 days before their championship opener against Claremorris. That's happening on the 16th of August. So he's vanished. He's quit. Not sure why, but there you go. And his last outing was his Knockmore girls was beaten by Westport by 6-0 or something like that. But anyway, he had previously been associated with Knockmore men's team, serving as part of the backroom staff in 2025, a campaign that concluded with a semi-final defeat to Ballina. He is, as I mentioned there, he's married to a Knockmore native. He lives in Mayo now, doesn't he? Yes, and he's got a bit of, despite the things he might have said for us said about Mayo football over the years, he has a fondness for Mayo, not just his wife, but for, Mayo football and the people of Mayo, all of that nice stuff. The Dungiven man called Mayo's All-Ireland victory one of the most emotional days in GAA history, describing it as a profound moment of liberation. Nice words there from Brawley. He's good with words, I have to say that much. He can be controversial at times and all the rest of it, but he can back them up. He has an All-Ireland medal himself. Brawley was part of the 1993 Derry team, which won the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship title before becoming something of a household name as part of RTE's GAA punditry. Yeah, so he's a pundit, and at a time when punditry was interesting and exciting and engaging and riveting and all the good positive adjectives to get you to watch the punditry, that's when Joe Brawley, Pat Spillane and Colin O'Rourke were, the guys in talking to Michael Lester are, analysing the games and stuff like that. Now it's become a bit dour and, I don't know. It doesn't have it's not as colourful, shall we say, as it was when you had the likes of Brawley there in the pundit's chair. So if anybody's seen Joe Brawley, they're looking for him down there in Knockmore because he walked out on the ladies' team. Don't know why, anything like that. Here's a nice song that was written about Sam Maguire coming home to Mayo.
get to Crow Park was a struggle. But when you got there, how you played to the crowd. So full of desire, you boys were on fire. Reached the final and made everyone proud. But Andy had enough of the laughing. He said, none of you think it could be done. So no more disrespect and bullshit questions. Let the Mayo people have fun. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Brought our boys into battle like Baru with the Boyne in the corner. Our captain, the hardy Jack Coyne with McGreel and McHugh. There were rocks at the back, and between the posts we had one Livingston Jack. McCallum was cool and the mighty McBrien, and Hessian so fast, geez, we thought he was flying. In the middle about Toohey, him breaking the ball, while Carney's two-pointer, it lifted us all. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Sam Maguire's come home. O'Connery blacked out the white on the wing. There was Towie, then Loftus, the great Jordan Flynn, and his young brother Colby. One chance on his wrist, 4 points in the bag, and a pump of the fist. To the back of the net, Bernie buried the ball, and the Neil's Tommy Conroy, the last point of all, and the man of the match with the grace of a lion, a legend, a hero, O'Donoghue Ryan. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. 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 When the hooter it went, the stadium filled with emotions unheard of. The tears they did spill, some were kissing the ground. There was some saying mass. Then Jack raised the roof with a speech that was class. Stick your chest out, be proud you're from Mayo. We'll be anchored through the ages again. Oh, never stop dreaming was heard over the screaming. Thanks to all of you 41 men. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Sam Maguire's come home. Andy, how will we ever thank you? You truly are a leader of men. We hope with Boiler, Tally, and Higgins you'll rally to stick around and do it again. Well, respect to all who've been there before you, to all of whom are feeling the love. Men like Mahan and Moore and McStay and James Hoare and John O'Mahony and smiling above. Oh, see the flags hanging out of the windows, the green and red of Mayo being sung. Now the West's awake, but for goodness sake, next time, don't you leave it so long. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home. Oh, Sam Maguire's come home.
Hello, all you Global Irish Radio listeners out there, wherever you may be. It's myself, Finbar, here in beautiful northern Colorado, inviting you along to the Reigelteigel Celtic Folk Show, streaming here live every Monday and Friday evening at 10 p.m. Irish time, where you're guaranteed to hear some rare old recordings from the old country and beyond. And it's all here on globalirishradio.com, the home of the Reigelteigel. Listen to the Reigelteigel on Global Irish Radio.
Yes, indeed, friends. The Reigelteigel on Global Irish Radio later on tonight with our pal Finbar. Old radio recordings that you wouldn't find anywhere else. So check that out. That's the Reigelteigel with Finbar. 7 o'clock Irish time tonight. Don't miss it. Before the break, or before the musical break, well, the music was Sam Maguire's Come Home. We never got this far before, not in 75 years, so we don't have too many songs about Sam Maguire coming home, but that's a nice one from Brian Flanagan. And we cleared it with the boss about the curse word. He said, given the situation, the circumstances, we'll let it pass, he said. There you go. Now, and by the way, we're talking about teams building on their success in the past and the fact that we're hungry for more. To win just once, not enough. We want lots more wins, and that's fine. Right now, we're focusing on celebrating, but, you know, Andy says we'll focus on club football after that, and then we'll be back. So, a team to watch. And it's worth noting that in last time we did it, we did the double. Did you know that? I did not know that. I know that now, but anyway. In the 1952 championship, Mayo were beaten in the Connacht final by Roscommon on a scoreline of 3-4 to 6 points. We got hammered after the last time, but the time before that is the time I'm talking about, which makes for 2 in a row. Because, let me see, we won in 1950 and 1951, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We did the 2 in a row, 1950 and 1951, but then 1952 our luck ran out in a big way and we got hammered. But anyway, and then it's been that's been the story ever since. But anyway, incidentally, Cavan won Sam Maguire in 1952, the most recent All-Ireland success for the Breffni. So they haven't won it since 1952. Cavan. But anyway, there you go. So a little bit of, I suppose, sports trivia for you, if you want to call it that. It's the Daily Crack, friends, with me, Sean G. Spread the good word. Give us a follow wherever you get your podcasts and you'll get notified when the latest one drops. That's if you can't listen to us live here on the radio, but of course we hope you can. And if you're new to the programme, see we have listeners all over the world today, so wherever you are, welcome along. We miss you. And we're always here to bring a little bit of home to you wherever you are in the world. Okay. This week, a lot of people dying this week. Have you noticed that? And Glenn Hansard was buried this week, and Brenda Fricker was buried yesterday. A lot of coverage in the papers on that story, and the mourners were told that she lived a life full to the brim of love, laughter and mischief. Yeah, she was a little mischievous, and you can tell that from the way she planned her funeral as well. People were told not to cry, but to cry happy tears if they wanted to, but it was to be a happy occasion. And she wanted to be a celebration, and we're told that she planned every last detail of the funeral herself. Brenda Fricker wanted her funeral to be a day of celebration and not sadness. That's what the mourners heard yesterday. The Oscar-winning actress, who died on July the 16th in Our Lady's Hospice in Harold's Cross, was laid to rest following a service at St. Catherine's Church on Meath Street in Dublin's Liberties. And there was famous faces there from the world of movies, as you can imagine. Brendan Gleeson was there, film director Jim Sheridan was there, and lots of other famous people as well. And there was a lovely lament played by one of my favourite Irish fiddle players, Frankie Gavin, played a lovely, lovely lament, and there was lots of other tributes and warm reflections and reminiscences about Brenda Fricker and the hearse. Looking at the hearse, it was interesting enough. Glenn Hansard's casket was carried by a horse-drawn carriage, that kind of thing. That was very nice as well, and there was a big celebration of his life and lots of musicians in attendance on Wednesday. Amazing. 2 of our more recent Oscar winners buried within one day of each other. That's astonishing, remarkable, isn't it? But anyway, her hearse was an old, the best I can compare it to one of those 1930s kind of old kind of, the kind of cars that Al Capone would be driving, those really old antique vintage vehicles from around about circa, I'd say, 1930s, the time of the Model T and that kind of stuff. Not sure what kind of car it is, but it's one of those old ones. Didn't even know we had some of those still in Ireland. But as you say, it was primarily a happy occasion on the basis that it was a celebration of her life yesterday, and that's exactly how Brenda Fricker wanted it to be. Lovely words spoken by the Monsignor yesterday, Owen Tyne. Here he is. Here's what he had to say in his eulogy.
Thank you, Brenda, for the laughter, for the kindness, for seeing the best in us and bringing out the best in others, for teaching us that the greatest prize in life is never a trophy, but the love that we have for others. The curtain has fallen on this life, but what a performance it was. And I have no doubt, in the highest heavens, in the company of her mum and dad, Bina and Des, her sister Grania and her husband Barry, the lights are coming up again. There's no more pain. There's no more sadness. There's only joy and laughter and fun and devilment. And I'm sure we can almost hear Brenda saying to Peter, for goodness sake, don't text or call me before 12.
There you go, friends. The Monsignor there talking about Brenda Fricker at her funeral yesterday. And what a lovely metaphor. The curtain has fallen on her life, but what a performance it was. What a performance it was indeed. Ireland's first Oscar for a female actress, and so many accolades and so many great performances over the years. My favourite, I would have to say, when I think of Brenda Fricker, I think of My Left Foot, of course, the one for which she got the Oscar. She could have got an Oscar for other movies too. I mean, she was an outstanding actor. And the other one, The Field with Richard Harris. What a performance. That's an Oscar-winning performance as well. And then one of my favourite movies, Home Alone 2, and the wonderful portrayal she did of the kind lady, the pigeon lady in Central Park. So, yeah, laid to rest yesterday. But she leaves a wealth of what a legacy she leaves behind, and we'll enjoy her movies for decades and generations to come. Brenda Fricker, and she no airs or graces. They were told that she didn't have an ounce of airs or graces. She lived among her own people in the Liberties there in Dublin, which is kind of working class part of Dublin, and was well known to the locals when she'd walk her dog down along the street. Dog's name I think was Juno, and a lot of the merchants, the shopkeepers and stuff like that would throw Remy would have loved this, would throw treats and stuff out to the dog. So a lovely lady, and was well known to her neighbours there. She was by no means a recluse or stuck up or anything like that. She was one of us, friends. Now, as I said, a lot of funerals. There's another notable obituary that we'll share with you towards the end as well, and we've been sharing far too many obituaries with you on the programme recently. But anyway, sure, that's life. Micheál, let's go on to a happier place, and that, of course, is the Fleadh Cheoil, which is turning into a Fleadh stroll for Micheál Martin as he strolled around the Fleadh in Belfast, the streets of Belfast yesterday, to take in some of the wonderful pageantry, I suppose, of the Fleadh Cheoil. Micheál Martin has hailed the cross-community participation at Belfast's first Fleadh Cheoil na hÉireann as an historic occasion reflecting decades of positive change in the city. And isn't it lovely to see, this coming together? That's the thing. In cities with such a past, I suppose, as Belfast and other places in Northern Ireland, where, there's been so much hatred and hurt and division, you have to focus on the things that unites communities and unites people. And music, music unites everybody, doesn't it? And that's what the Fleadh does. It brings people together, and it gives them, it strips away the labels. Somebody said it very nice, and what was it? There was a piece in there, the Taoiseach added that this is what one loyalist musician has said to him. He said, I think one loyalist musician put it to me last year that communities will refine their music in accordance with their traditions, but all are drawing from the same well. And he thought that, and so do I. A lovely metaphor. But anyway, there you go. That's Micheál at the Fleadh. And speaking during his visit, Mr. Martin praised the detailed planning that organisers put into the event. As I say, drawing from all of the different traditions. There are people from all kinds of minority backgrounds, loyalists, unionists, Protestant, Catholic. It's a melting pot of music where nobody cares about their ethnicity or their beliefs or their religion. They believe, all they care about is the music. And a lovely occasion, as I say, on Belfast, and it's a hugely successful event this year. As I say, over 800,000 people attending. Weather seems to be cooperating as well. And I seen there was other Prince Charles. He's a king now. Goodness gracious me. King Charles and Queen Camilla were there as well, sitting enjoying traditional Irish music as well. And there was some great Irish music to be heard, be it at the bigger stages or the smaller stages, or in many of the pubs around the city, and there's all kinds of workshops and everything like that. I think it's fair to say a very successful Fleadh Cheoil in Belfast this time around. So that's the Fleadh. Coming up later on tonight, I should let you know that we have some great programmes coming your way. The Crack from Philadelphia between 5 and 7 with Sean Timmins, and check that one out if you can. 5 to 7 tonight. 7 o'clock it's the Raggle Taggle with Finbar's Old Way Recordings. Great folk music and the like. And later on tonight, you catch this programme again at 9 o'clock tonight. And then at 11 o'clock we go down under to Sydney, Australia, and the Ireland Calling programme from that part of the world. So that's always interesting to listen to and find out. They do a nice show down there, and it's a collaborative. A bunch of them come together. It's different presenters every week. There's a group of them there that shoulder the burden and keep their community, and that's what it's all about. Keeping the community, bringing the community closer together and keeping them informed, and being messengers and flag bearers for the country in terms of promoting and preserving Irish music heritage and culture in communities in those places. What we did for years and years and decades and centuries, bringing our Irishness with us. So there you go. That's the Ireland Calling programme tonight here on Global Irish Radio. You can catch it, and it goes out again tomorrow morning, nice and early here in this country, 8 a.m. And lots of great programmes over the course of the weekend because we have Tom live from Chicago tomorrow at 1 o'clock with Tom's Irish Radio Show, and a full news report courtesy of Eileen Magner from previously with RTE before she took her early retirement. Tommy Marin has sports news, and it's Tom's got all the latest happenings from Chicago as well. Off to Toronto, and Mark O'Brien and Ken Tracy have the Irish Hour from Toronto. We have the Irish Hour from New York with Trassa Goodwin-Smith and Tommy Smith, although they're over in Ireland, I think at the minute. They're pre-recorded their show for tomorrow night. They're enjoying last week the Galway races and enjoying some time here in Ireland at the moment. So lots of great programs. Of course, the Irish Hit Parade with Paul Sullivan tomorrow as well. Great Irish music from Boston, and lots of great Irish music and great programs from Irish communities all around the world. We bring people together. That's what we do here at Global Irish Radio. Right, there's a lot of excitement, I can tell you, in these parts, because the date of the return of the second season of Traitors has been announced. This was a big television event when it debuted for its first airing on RTE, Traitors 1. Now the news is that Traitors Ireland will return to our screens later this month. The date, any idea? Right at the end of the month, just as you get ready to go back to school. The second season of the hugely popular reality show hosted by Siobhan McSweeney will begin airing on Sunday, August the 30th. In our day, it used to be Glen Rowe. These days, it's a little bit more sophisticated, and everybody loves the Traitors, doesn't it? It's a game of it's kind of a show that appeals to our deceptive, our inner self, our inner deceptive person. If that, the crook in us. The liar in us, because it's a game of deception, isn't it? Where deception is rewarded, and the best liar typically tends to do the best. So it's an interesting, it's an interesting concept. Maybe that's part of the reason why it's so successful. But Slane Castle once again will be host to that, and the players will compete in a challenge to win money as well. There's 50,000 up for grabs. Murders, there's a few of the players, as you know, that are traitors. The rest are faithfuls. The question is who's who. All of the rest of it, you know the score, you know the deal. But the second season returns, and everybody, I think it's fair to say, looking forward to the return of Traitors 2 on RTE screens later this month, the end of the month, in fact, the 30th of August, as say, coinciding with the the autumn-winter schedule and the return to school and stuff like that. So that's getting a fair amount of coverage in our papers today. Another reality TV show that's getting some attention this Friday in our papers is the First Dates Ireland, which is the dating program, which is basically the nation goes on a blind date with two people, and we see how they get on, and if they click, if they decide to meet again. Well, two did click, and they clicked very well, because they're pictured in the paper today with their new baby just a year after appearing on First Dates. This couple, her name is Faith, his name is James, and they welcomed a new baby girl, Ela, to the world yesterday. So, love always finds a way, whether it's through reality TV shows like First Dates or however. So we wish them well with their new arrival. But smiling faces, that is a happy place in our papers today, isn't it? Yes. All righty, just before we wrap it up, friends, for a Friday, because we got to get out there and enjoy that fresh air and the sunshine that is, all across Mayo. We didn't get to talk about the upcoming eclipse. We'll talk about that Monday. We're all excited. What date is it today? Today is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Oh, gosh. Is it Monday? No, it's the 12th. The eclipse is on the 12th. So we can talk about that, the eclipse Monday. The best places to see it, of course, we told you Dingle Peninsula is probably the best place. But there are other places too, and there are other parts of the country, even here in Mayo, that is hosting viewing parties for the solar eclipse. So that's an event to watch, and we have details on the best place in which to watch this solar eclipse, and the things that you need to do, all that you need to know for this upcoming solar eclipse, the first one since 1999. Now, I mentioned International Beer Day today, and Murphy's is fast becoming Britain's favourite stout, we're being told, as fed-up punters across the water ditch the pricier Guinness after months of shortages. Well, this is what happens, friends. New habits form when, that's why you never want to run out of beer. Anybody that's in the pub business knows this. It's especially, if you're an Irish pub and you're, well, not even an Irish pub, a staple like Guinness. But anyway, the Irish brew has... The Murphy's this is now. The Irish brew has seen their sales double in the UK as drinkers switch to the cheaper pint, switching to Murphy's, lying in the pockets of its brewer, Heineken. Yeah, Heineken, my friends, are the brewers of Murphy's Irish Stout. That's the world in which we live in. Of course, Guinness is owned by Diageo these days, which is not an Irish company, let's put it that way. And the boom comes after Guinness maker Diageo was hit by supply problems that left some pubs running out of the black stuff, which, as I said, never a good thing because you're allowing new habits to form, and of course not good for PR either. But anyway, soaring pint prices have also tempted many beer lovers to try rival stouts instead. One drinker posted on Reddit, "I generally prefer Murphy's over Guinness. Guinness always seems sweeter to me, and I prefer the drier taste of Murphy's." So personally, I cannot tell the difference. I think they're both bitter, but Murphy's enjoying a lot of success in the UK thanks to the mistakes made by Guinness. And I was listening to the business news on the radio this week. They got a new guy in charge at Guinness, and they're facing rather difficult trading conditions, and there's a big cost-cutting plan being put in place. His predecessor had carved out a 500 or 600 million cost-cutting plan, but the new guy came in and replaced him and is even harsher with his cost-cutting plans. They used to call him Drastic Dave when he worked at Tesco, and he's been drafted in to fix the problems at Guinness, at Diageo I should say, although Guinness is the one bright spot in Diageo, and they're actually going to beef up production of Guinness and invest about $1 billion in the brewery in Dublin. So it's not bad news for the Irish operation and the production of Guinness. It's the other areas of the business. They have so many other brands and expensive tequilas that nobody buys, and they wasted time and money and effort. If they just focus on the Guinness and producing enough Guinness, so many companies do that. They take the eye off the ball of their core business, and they get greedy trying to line their pockets, and they drop the ball. And that's essentially what's going on with Diageo and Guinness. And now they're in a bit of a hole and have to dig themselves out of it, and cost cutting and all of that stuff. So that's every cloud is a silver lining, and for Murphy's the silver lining is increased sales in the UK. So there you go. Pour yourself another one. It is International Beer Day, friends. Have a nice cold one. We're live as we usually are, and we're almost out of time. Few bits. We didn't get to Margaret's pick of the day today. She did have a nice one about, we do have time. Let's squeeze in real quick. She picked out, she was reading it with interest, a letter of an apology from a disgraced funeral boss, Robert Bush, who, he was supposed to be cremating people, but he wasn't. He was just hiding them, and all the chickens came home to roost, and he was found guilty of all kinds of bad things. But Margaret says instead of getting cremated, get buried. You won't have any problems. This guy was giving back the wrong ashes to the wrong people. In one instance, he gave the ashes of an animal or a pet or a dog to people, and there was all kinds of awful shenanigans. A bit morbid and a bit a strange story on a Friday, I know, but there you go. A good advertisement on why you should shun cremation in favour of being buried, but nobody wants to be buried anytime soon, so we'll forget about that for now. But we will on that note finish up on an obituary, a notable obituary this Friday as well. The father of the late Pogues lead singer Shane MacGowan has died at the age of 96. Maurice MacGowan passed away at University Hospital Limerick on Monday, surrounded by his family following a short illness. And one of his daughters, Siobhan, credited her father with the enormous influence on Shane's work, and say he was really the well of inspiration for Shane, which not a lot of people would have known or be aware of, but now they are. Shane's dad was such an enormous influence on his work, and she said when he was a youngster he would have Shane reading from Joyce and Flann O'Brien and Brendan Behan. when every other little kid was reading from children's books, Shane was always reading from these, these writings from literary giants here in Ireland, and that's what kind of kindled and nurtured his love for great Irish literature and his appreciation for poetry. His dad was a composer and a poet himself, and he passed on those genes to Shane. So, and he had a great authenticity about him, and an ability to be funny, sharp wit, dry, and all of the rest of it, and never